But I wanted to address, we took down the last video. We want to keep putting videos up to refresh them. The video on what I'll call the martial law video. Now, so there was some consternation out in the community about the word martial law. So I want to say a few things about that. First of all, number one, in one conversation, it is like a fireside chat. Although right now I'm next to my barn. The other day I was next to the pasture. I'm not reading from a script. I'm just talking to the people that are interested in my views on the video. All this was one conversation over minutes time. And during that conversation I said we were not in martial law. Plainly, simply, yet some blogger decided to say Medvigy falsely claims there's martial law. I didn't say that. I gave the caveats too. The National Guard are out bringing food to our food pantries. They're not out arresting people. Police are just, if they contact people who are congregating against the orders, they're just warning them, advising them of those orders. Those are policies that are out. Those are unlike martial law. And I said that, all in the context of this one conversation. So, stop politicizing this stuff. You can pull out a word or a phrase and attack it, but the message was this. It is martial law-like. This is the United States of America. We have liberties. We live free. Other countries don't necessarily live as freely as we do. I have experienced martial law myself as a young teenager in New Jersey. Most of America did during the late 60s, during riots. And that's where the context that most people know them. After a hurricane, after some other calamity where people start shoplifting and burning things and breaking into stores. Some of the race riots of the 60s that I alluded to earlier were real martial law. You had National Guard patrolling around, and we weren't allowed to be out and about. That happened in one of the towns I lived in at the time, Plainfield, New Jersey. It was burned. Downtown was burned. People lost their lives. It was ugly, but it lasted only a few days. Got brought under control. It's an aspect of martial law. And it can be just law enforcement. After most of the riots, you get state troopers, sheriffs, local police. They may get assistance if they're overwhelmed by the National Guard or active armed forces, but it doesn't have to be armed forces. People made a point of it normally means active armed forces taking over. No, it's not. It's loss of liberty. Those are the points I was making. We can't go to church. We can't go to school. You can't go hunting, fishing. You can't assemble, which is normally lawful behavior. A lot of people can't go to work. A lot of people have lost their jobs. Can't go to movie theaters. Golfers can't go play golf, at least not here. They go across the river to Oregon. So those are aspects of normal life that are now illegal to do by operation of law of the emergency proclamation through the governor's police powers. That's the point I was making. So we're not under martial law, but we don't want to be under these conditions forever. We do not want this to be the new normal. We're hoping that next week, soon, we get some more relief out in our parks, fishing, etc. I expect the governor is going to move that way. Just yesterday did lighten up construction a bit, those rules that are there. So I want to touch base on what I said in that context about the demonstrators that are around the country. People are now chafing at these rules because they're global, they're national, and they have a First Amendment right to do so, and they should, and our leadership needs to hear it. I work every day on these issues, inform myself of the science every day. I inform myself and try to inform the governor when he asks about what our conditions are. We want to make the right decisions every day. So the government leaders, I'm working for you, and so is the governor. They all need to hear from their people. Now, do I condone not following the protocols at these assemblies? Absolutely not. I understood that the organizers of that demonstration recommended social distancing protocols. And I understand also that a lot of people that went there, I did not, did follow the rules. Obviously, people don't. And people haven't locally. We've discussed closing parks here because of that. We have constituents here that want people more firmly dealt with by law enforcement for violating the rules. And we've had to consider closing parks because of the congregations that were going on. For the most part, people are doing what they should do in their own self-interest and the interests of others. But if you get to that point, and I'm telling you, we are getting constituent emails, and so are the chiefs of police and local sheriff, that are looking for law enforcement to step in, then it's looking a whole lot more like martial law. I think luckily, we are on the downside. We are going to see loosening up of these restrictions, so hopefully we will never get to that. But the point I was making about the assembly is that it's important, and it's important to know, let our leadership know of your concerns. If you want to stay at home all the time, that is your right. But I'm certainly hopeful that that is not the new normal.